Welcome everybody to my class. I'm really excited to teach you guys this beauty masterclass today with Blushington. For those of you who I haven't taught before, my name is Serra, and I already started by putting on my foundation. I don't really use foundation. I use my favorite product on earth, that is the Herborian CC cream. There are three colors, and then there's the green, the red correct. I kind of shift between all of them throughout the year, depending on the season. Right now, I actually mix down the golden color or doré with the red correct. I find that this is the right color depth for me, but the shade is just slightly too pink, and I'm just a little bit more yellow olive. So I mix it like half and half with the red correct, and it gives me a high definition blur. It gives it, as they say, a baby skin effect, which I do. I have to say, I don't think I look 42, but okay, just saying. So those are my two favorites. Anyone that's ever taken a class with me and or is my friend or a family member has received this from me. So this is a great product. Joseph is also going to drop all the links in real time. And I believe afterward, you'll get a code for a discount on products. And that's that. I'm going to take a sip of water because I'm going to be speaking a lot. So I have that on. And you can use a primer if you want. I know we got a new primer in recently that I haven't tried, but Joseph thinks it's amazing. If you want to post that on there. I forget the name of the brands, but you can use primer to, I'm just adding a little pack because I saw a red spot. So you can use a primer to help your makeup last longer. It's not necessary, and it's not necessarily going to make your makeup stay on better. In fact, there it is, Lawless Primer. Sometimes primer, if it's not applied correctly, especially mattifying primer, can end up making the skin look a little splotchy. So my preference is to go with a really good moisturizer. I use all the One Love Organics products that we carry. I absolutely love them. And I'm actually going to be using the vitamin D moisture mist as we work. So a really good moisturizer, in my opinion, is generally all that you need to prime the skin. However, when it's daytime, we have the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. That is a clear, almost silky feeling sunscreen. Also makes an amazing primer. I don't have that on now, but that's a great primer if you're ever looking for one. And you don't have to only use it during the day. It's because it's sunscreen. You can use it any time of day. These also have sunscreen in them, but I wear them day and night. Okay, so going to start with my all-time fave. It's a Blushington all-time fave. This is the, let's see if you can see my light. That's the Jouer lip enhancer. And this is like a moisturizer for your lips. Very important because we're going to be putting, again, like I said, priming the skin with moisturizer. You want to prime the lips too. And this is great because it's smoothing, it's plumping, and it's not sticky or weird. After this, so this being done, I will say I also, you can see I made a little mess there. I also curled my lashes and put on just a light coat of mascara. So we do have the Kevin McFawn Lash Curler, wonderful. My favorite mascara, for those of you who already know me and know this, is the Anastasia Lash Brow. Let's see. Oh, to me, I'm like the person that like, I need to try a new mascara every month or every 2 months, like when one dries out. Yeah, it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lash Brag. This is my mascara soulmate, is all I can say. It like thickens, but it also lengthens, and it's like a soft, whipped kind of formula. It just does everything I would ever want a mascara to do. That being said, so I curled my lashes and put a light bit of mascara on. That's really to hold the curl because we're going to be doing lashes in a little bit. But first thing we're going to do is, okay, the main secret to keeping the mascara is not waterproof, Pamela, but it is water resistant, which I had never used before. I was like, what's the difference? Basically, it wears like a waterproof. It doesn't smudge, but it comes off easy like a regular mascara. You know, you don't have to scrub it. So all I can say is, and I had one client that got in, her husband said she looked like she had cartoon eyelashes, that they were so like long and defined. So the key to keeping makeup lasting, whether it's bridal or a gala or an all-day party or wedding, like I said, something at the beach, the whole key to it is going in thin layers and setting and pressing it into the skin in between. So you'll use your regular foundation, but then what you want to do is, now normally I'm not a powder person, for those of you who know me already, but there are certain powders that I love and they're worth trying. First one is the Jouer compact powder. It's a soft, focused, hydrating pressed powder. Comes in like pretty much every shade from like the palest pale to super dark. And I like this because it doesn't make the skin look powdery or heavy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my Bdellium brushes. Mine are so used that the numbers are like scratched off, but this is all from the same Bdellium set. Okay. So I'm taking this kind of like a dense kabuki brush and I'm just pressing it in. I want to work the powder into the brush. Okay. I'm going to always tap off the excess. Never want to blow on anything, especially in COVID days. And I'm just going to, in gentle tapping motions, press my foundation into my skin. So see, I'm not like filling my whole face with powder. I'm really just kind of gently patting that makeup in. And this is something you don't have to worry about if your skin is already dry, because this already is hydrating. Don't forget, get up there, get those little nostrils, side of the nose, going right over. And I'm actually going to press it right in and kind of use that as like a base prime layer over my eyes. Okie dokie. Now, of course, because we want everything to match perfectly, we're just taking this, not adding any more product, but we're going all the way from the jawline and we are buffing it down and out till it disappears into the skin. Earring. Now, I always tell people, don't forget to get back behind the ear, especially if you're wearing your hair up or back. So now that that's done, what you want to do is take a setting spray, if you have it. I'm actually using this. This is the One Love Organic. It's a vitamin D moisture mist. So you can use it to like refresh your skin throughout the day, but it's also works well for helping like set, especially hydrating powders. This works really well with. Otherwise, any setting spray will work. So I like to give myself a 1, 2, 3. One side down the middle. And then inside of my favorite little egg, this is my Beauty Blender Defender case. I don't think we have it on the website right now, maybe sold out, but I love it because it's got like all the little holes for ventilation, but it also keeps my Beauty Blender clean. So once I wash it, I can put it in here to dry and not worry that it's going to get like dirty. So wet my Beauty Blender and squeeze out all the water so it's damp, but it's significantly larger than when it's dry. Generally, you want to use it damp because once it's damp, like this patented foam will not absorb your makeup into it the same way that other kinds of latex sponges and that kind of thing will do. So that's why people love this. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give myself one more spritz layer and I'm going to just spritz my Beauty Blender. Now I'm going to go and press gently. It's a gentle press, but I'm pressing in the foundation and the powder. Now this is going to, first of all, look very flattering. If you have any peach fuzz on the face, it's going to flatten it down. If you have any texture, this is going to kind of press that product in and smooth out the look of texture. And if you don't have any of the above, it's just going to press that makeup in to the point where it looks like it is your natural skin, just perfect. Okay. So now, because I want like a little bit more coverage, I'm just going back and touching that powder in a few more spots. So if you want to do that, you can follow along. See, I tend to get a little red. Same place. We all usually get a little red around the nose, chin. And you can do this to your heart's content. If it's like going to be a long, hot day in August outside at a wedding or a beach party, you may want to do this a few times. But that is how professionals get the makeup to look really natural without looking caked on and heavy, but also to last throughout a party where you may be dancing, drinking, having a good time. So that's that. Now, we're going to move to a very exciting part. And that is the lashes. So I just received my package. Totally new product for me anyway. Somewhat new to Blushington. These are Faux Mink lashes. The brand is this fabulous, beautiful woman, Kamara A. Unique. And they come in a lovely reusable container. You just slide them out. And as you can see, you can peel them off. You can store them back in this container and reuse them up to 30 times. So I'm very excited about this. But if that wasn't the most exciting thing, I'm going to tell you what is. It's an eyeliner, a clear eyeliner lash glue, like dreams answered. For anybody that ever wanted to try a strip lash and could never do it, I was one of those people. I was like the only makeup artist that could not put a strip lash on myself. Now I can, and that's because I can use this just like a regular eyeliner and the lash just sticks to it. It's perfect. You don't have to worry about like taking something that has glue on it and accidentally hitting the wrong spot. Now you've got glue stuck to you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm using the Mary Lash. So at Blushington, there are 3 different styles of Camara A Unique lashes. And I'm using Mary. They are the most subtle, but I know my eye shape and I know that these are the right ones for me. And I'm going to show you a little secret trick, how to put them on, and also kind of how to anchor them so that they feel comfortable, they fit more comfortably, and at the same time, they're going to pop a little bit more. So I'm sliding them out of the little case, and I'm using my Tweezerman tweezers, okay? Not everybody uses tweezers, but I do, and I recommend using tweezers. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use the tweezer and kind of grab them from one end and just remove them, okay? They have a sticky little band. It's a clear band, which I kind of like because it doesn't look as fake as like a black line. But now, I don't know if you can see this, but all faux lashes come with that little extra bit of strip on each end, which is really so that you can like grab and lift them off of the case without damaging the actual lash. But if you don't trim that off before you put them on, you're going to have these extra little pieces sticking this way and that way, and it'll drive you crazy. It drives me crazy. And any client that I didn't trim it off of when I was new. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to snip just with I'm just using like a little pair of lash scissors. Okay. So I'm going to snip those little bits off. Now, I personally always like to curl my lashes and put on a light coat of mascara first. If you are blonde and have blonde or light brown lashes, and you're going to be putting on black faux lashes, which most of them are black, you're going to have to do the curl and put the mascara on first. It's not a necessity. It's not a requirement if you already have dark lashes, but it really helps to have a comfort when you're wearing both of them instead of having some lashes straight and some curled. It also makes it look a little more natural. So before going any further, I'm going to take this, and I'm not adding any glue or anything. I'm using my little mirror. So tell me if you can see this. All right. So I'm just kind of laying it down just to make sure that I don't need to trim it. If you have smaller eyes, or if you have a really flat eye, like some eyes bulge out more, some lay more flat. It just all depends on your personal genetics. So those are 2 times when you might need to trim the lash a little bit smaller to fit you. If you do need to trim the lash, always trim it from the outer corner in. You never want to trim from the inner corner out unless you're like cutting it in half and you're just using the outer part. But when you're going to be wearing it all the way across, if there's a need to trim, you always want to trim from the outer edge. You can tell which one is the outer edge generally because a lot of times the inner edge is a little bit shorter, and it is on these Mary lashes. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just going to pull that off. See. Gently pull off. Okay. Sometimes you'll see people kind of do this. They bend it, which just kind of aids in the curl of the lash. I am going to trim those little extra bits of band right off so that they're not poking me in the corners. And all right, we're all trying this at the same time because I haven't tried this one yet, but I hear amazing things. Ooh, so I'm just shaking it a little bit. Okay. So, nice and sticky. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm using my little mirror right on the side. So hopefully you can see this. So what I'm going to do is, though it's a pen like a liquid liner, but it's going to come out clear. So I'm not worried about making a mess or not doing it perfectly. You want to go right from where your lashes start. You don't need to go all the way in, but from where your lashes start all the way to where your lashes end on the top. Now, if you can touch this to your skin and pull it across, you can do this. It's like night and day compared to using a strip adhesive, a liquid lash adhesive. So I put on one. Now I'm not putting it all the way just on the lid. I'm kind of like wedging it right at the lash line. So some of it's going to be on the lash. Some of it's going to be just at the base of where the skin is. Okay. So I'm going to do this side. Yes. This is the easiest thing ever. And I have to say, I've always been a dark adhesive person. But when it comes to this, I'm actually kind of really liking that it's clear because I'm not worried about like making a mess. Okay. So now I watched Kamara use her stuff and she said to do like 2 or 3 coats. So I don't know if this is necessary, but it has that sound in it, like a pen, like a paint pen. So I'm just shaking it again. And now I'm just going to do one more coat across. Again, same thing, right at the lash line from where the lashes begin all the way to where they end. And if you've worn faux lashes and you feel like they always kind of lift at the edges, like the inner corner and the outer corner, you can do what I'm probably going to do, which is take the lash and I'm just going to, with the pen, just apply a little like touch of the glue at the very like edge. I don't know if you can see that. The very edge of that outer corner, inner corner. Okay. So now it's application time. So I'm starting with my right side, right? Yes. Okay. So I like to use a tweezer. And I personally like a slant tweezer because I like a little more grip, a little more hold. Here's how I do it. There are a million different ways. Everybody does it differently, but this is how I do it. I hold it this way with the lash right kind of in the middle. Then instead of putting it this way, flip your hand upside down. Yes, it's going to be easy. I promise you, Daisy May. So you flip your hand upside down. So see how the lash is upside down? I am taking it upside down and anchoring it down onto the lash line. So I'm going to look in my mirror. So what I want to do is get that middle, touching the middle of my lash. Then I'm going to take the inner corner, touch that to the inner part of my lashes where they start. Then I'm going to take the outer and I am going to touch it to the outer part of my lashes. Oh my God. That was so easy. I can't even believe it. And I don't have lash glue all over my face. And I'm not worried that it's going to fall off. I can feel it secure on there. And it looks so pretty. It really is a pretty lash. Like I'm definitely going to be wearing lashes more. Wow. Okay. So I'm just using the back of the other end of the tweezer. And I'm just kind of like, some people will use their finger, just kind of like pressing my lash and the band of the faux lash together. Now, if you feel like your lash feels heavy, the adhesive, this is also the Kamara A Unique. It's called the Strength Liner. And it's, I'm using the clear. New for me, but I'm doing it. So the key to a strip lash feeling comfortable, flip it up. As it's drying, flip it up. So remember how instead of putting it on like this, where then it could kind of weigh my eye down, I put it on this way. And wow, it's so pretty. It's got such a nice curl to it. It's comfortable and it's secure. I can tell you that much. And look at the difference from one eye to the other. One looks so much bigger and happier. So, and take the other one. Same thing. I'm just going to put a touch of that glue on the ends. It's like my little insurance policy. And guess what? This can go in my bag in case for some bizarre reason later I've sweat and I dancing and I feel like the lash is coming off. That's not going to happen with these, but I can already feel it. So like I can feel the grip. So taking these in the middle, flipping my hand upside down and anchoring them straight down onto my lash line. Getting the center in the center. Getting the inner part in. All right, wait, I think I went a little too far in, so I'm just going to grab the lash. I'm doing this with my finger now. If you have to pull it up, always use your finger and don't use the tweezer. See, it's that simple to peel them off. Okay, starting over. There we go. Middle. I still don't understand how some people can do it all with their fingers, but we're all different. All right, then I'm taking this part to there, and then this outer part, that outer corner. Just going to press it down there. Wow. And then I'm going to take the edge, the dull edge of this, and use that to kind of press down the band. And then I'm going to use my finger to press the lashes together. This is not a necessity. I just like to do this. And again, like I said, you don't want to feel them, flip the lashes up. Flip them up, flip them up, flip them up. That was the easiest application I've ever done. So now that I have these exotic, amazing looking lashes, a little trick that a lot of people don't know that is you really should do, now do your eyebrows. Wait, a lot of times I wait until after I do the eye makeup, because if you're doing kind of dramatic eyes, what's happening is you're actually bringing the shape of your eyes out a little further, which means you need to bring your brows out a little further to meet them. Thanks, Jacqueline. All right, so I'm using the Anastasia the Anastasia Brow Wiz. And I'm using the, is it medium brown? Yeah, medium brown. So I'm just going to fill them a little bit, because once you start putting on eye makeup, then you're like, oh, yeah, I need my brows. Okay. There we go. Ooh, yes, follow me on Instagram. Thank you, Joseph. Okay, so just filling them in really lightly, and especially like when you've got dark brows, so hard to fill in your brows without them looking like really dark, heavy caterpillars. So just going to brush that pigment through. Kind of brush them up. Eyebrows are personal, so do the shape that you like, but see where my brows would normally come to is great when it's my eye without the lashes. Now that I've got these big exotic lashes, what I'm going to do is kind of measure from the outer corner of my nose across the lashes. So instead of doing it like my eye, I'm doing it from where the lashes come to, because they're coming out further. Okay. And then easiest thing is just like make a little mark there. So I'm just extending them out. Now, if you're like me and you have the beginning of a hooded brow or whatever, a sagging brow, bedroom eyes, you can call it whatever you want. You never want to curve the bottom of the brow downward. You want to kind of follow the shape, but pull it. See, I'm pulling it straight out. So now do you see how the difference on this eye to this one with the brow? Have to say, these lashes are intense. They are beautiful. I'm just so not used to it. But once all my eye makeup is done, you'll say, it'll be like, whoa, did you edit that in face tuning? No, I just use makeup. So I'm going to do the other one. So again, when you're filling in your brows, you don't need to, thanks, Pamela. Pamela says beautiful. You don't need to like change who you are. You just want to use a light touch and really kind of fill in the skin under the brow. And you don't need to go heavy. I'm like barely using any pressure. You don't need to make yourself look like somebody you're not, you know? The only place I do like to define it a little bit is like right here where the hairs start. There, I like to give it not sharp or heavy, but just a soft little line, and then always comb through it, spread the pigment around. I'm going to do that here too. And as long as you're not going below where the brow hairs grow, it just looks like just a nice uniform sharpness. Okay. So same thing here. Okay. Now, if you like to use a brow gel, you can use one. Again, here, I need to extend that brow out just a little bit. And I'm just pulling it same direction, but kind of straight out, so that it doesn't look like my lashes go like this and my brows look weird. Okay. Great. So now we have that conundrum where like the top half looks amazing, but the bottom half looks a little weird. So how do we fix that? Take an eyeliner. Where's my eyeliner? Okay. So I'm not using a super heavy duty crazy liner. I'm using the Steeless Smudge Stick in Lionfish. This has been around forever. It's a bestseller. Everybody loves it. Part of what it is that's so great about it, it's a brown, it's a dark, thanks, Sunita. It's a dark brown, but it has little gold flecks in it. So it's kind of light reflecting, and you can use it on any eye color. You can use it in the waterline if you like, without it looking harsh and like 90s, like a black, in the waterline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to take this under the eye. Now, you can make this a little bit like wider and thicker and smudge it if you want for like a really sultry kind of look. Generally, my recommendation for people, because we all have different eye shapes, right? My general recommendation is to start all the way up at the outer corner and take the liner just into the widest part of your eye. That's going to emphasize your eye and make it look wider. Like if anybody ever told you, don't wear horizontal stripe across your hips or your thighs because it's going to make you look wide, that's because typically on a woman, we're cinched at the waist and wider at the hips, right? So everybody says, oh, don't wear a stripe across where it's widest because that's going to emphasize the width. We're doing that on purpose here because what we want to do is not emphasize where the eye closes back down. We want to make it look open and lifted, so we're stopping at our widest place. Okay, now, everybody loves the wing. Who doesn't love a wing, especially on Halloween? Wings, you can do with liquid, you can do with pencil, you can do with eyeshadow and a slanted angle brush. I'm going to use this pencil, and I'm going to show you how to do the wing that works on every single person. How does it work? Because you're using your own eye shape. So see how we went down, right? Let's say we go back up. We're just following the exact shape of our eyes. Now, continue the line upward in the exact shape of the eye. Exactly the direction it goes in. You're just continuing that line. Now you got where your wing needs to go. And you have many options for how you can close out the top. Some people, if you're doing something like avant-garde or funky, just want it with that line. Now, also, if you want more of like a wedge or a cat eye, you can take, kind of hard to see with my amazing lashes, but you can take the top of that line and make a little isosceles triangle shape that goes from that edge there back down to your eyelid, and then fill that in. You can leave it like that if you want, or you can take it all the way across your lash line. I generally don't take eyeliner all the way across my lash line because I don't have a ton of visible lid space. But if you do have nice large eyes, go for the full wing all the way across. It looks amazing. It's just not the most flattering on my eyes. So, and then of course, if you're going super dramatic, I mean, you can pull it out as much as you want. I mean, I am being a cat here, so I can pull it out a little more. But do you see the difference from even just with the eyeliner from one eye to the other? I think it's pretty intense. So I'm going to do the same thing on this eye. So let's see, twisting, twisting, twisting. So I'm going all the way from the outer corner and I'm pulling that in just to the widest width of my eye. Great. Now I'm going to go right back up and I'm just going to continue that. I mean, I'm literally holding this like a toddler holds a crayon right now, just like that. And this is the easiest thing to do. I'm just, see if I can move that lash. Okay. I'm just continuing the line that I had under here, just pulling it, continuing it upward. You can also use pointed Q-tips and a little Bioderma. That's like the micellar water we use. Great micellar water for sensitive skin, fragrance free. And use a little bit, and you can make that as sharp as you want. So I'm going to make my little isosceles triangle. Now, I'm not pulling. If you need to make your skin a little taut or your skin moves, don't pull, just hold it. I'm literally just holding it in place. And that prevents it from moving. So I'm just making my little triangle and then I'm just connecting it right at that little outer spot. And again, I'm going to pull it out a little, same direction. Since I'm being a foxy cat. Okay, now this lash is, can you see that? I'm literally pulling it. You see how attached it is? It's like incredible. So see now how it works with the brows pulled outward and the liner pulled outward. Okay. Yay. Now, I also will take this and I like to line right from where the lash starts. I'm almost going like inner waterline right downward. Just from that, where the lash goes all the way straight down. And of course, if you're being, whoa, yeah, that looks crazy. If you are being an animal, you can pull this down a little bit further, make like a little fake tear duct. Why not? Not necessary, but you get the idea. Okay. So moving on. Now I do have my smudge pot, but I don't really think it's necessary. Normally, what I like to do, or I'm taking that off, that's a bit much, but you get the idea. So normally what I like to do is, at least when I'm using my own lashes, like these look so good, I feel like I don't need it. But normally when I do my own mascara, I will take my Stila smudge pot, and there are other videos of me doing this on our YouTube page and on Instagram and Facebook. So you can always check those out. And I use my baby little angled brush from Bdellium. I take that and I hold it like this, and I just paint the very base of my lashes. I'm not like going inside my eye. I'm just literally like painting the base of the lashes, and it really makes the eyes pop a lot. So now, if you feel that your eyes look too upturned, I'm feeling like they're looking a little upturned for my liking, I am going to take this liner in further, but I'm not following the swoop of the eye. That's the key. If you don't want your eyes to look like too slanted in one direction or in the other direction. Not that your eyes can be too slanted, but again, it all depends on your costume and your personal preference about what you think like looks best. Right now, I feel like my eye looks a little closed down. So what I'm going to do to open it up a little is see how I went to my widest width. Now from there, I'm pulling it straight across. So it almost looks like I have this wider waterline there. You can also use this, like I said, in the waterline. It looks really good. So same thing here. And like, again, like you won't be able to do this on every single eye shape. You won't be able to do this on eyes that are significantly upturned in the inner corners. But if they're somewhat straight across, you can definitely do this. I like to do it. Thanks, Daisy May. Just because I feel like it makes my eyes look a lot bigger. And I like the look of big eyes. Some people that have big, it's like you have big eyes, you hate the big eyes. You have little eyes, you want bigger eyes. It's, we shall work on self-acceptance. So I take that all the way in as straight as I can. And let's say, I don't have anything on the waterline answering questions in case I blurt random things out. Oh, okay. So I'm going to put this away. Now, if you want to add a little extra fun, because who doesn't, you can put some glitter. So I'm going to use a combo, a poo-poo platter, as my best friend likes to say. A combo of PYT. They're the liquid glitter gels. These are so pretty, and they're very easy to use because they don't shed everywhere. So yeah, Glam Glitter Gel. So I'm using the pink and the iridescent. And again, just have fun. Do whatever you want. Go crazy. Here's the pink. I'm just going to put a little bit. These are really easy because they go on liquid, but they dry. And you can like spread them to keep them really sheer. Or you can like leave them heavily pigmented. I basically like letting it dry like a thicker paint. So I'm literally, it has like this nice little applicator. I'm literally just like painting it on because I feel like being fun and creative. I don't know if you can see that well, but I like that it's going to dry down, feel comfortable. Like once it's dry, you don't feel it at all. Okay, now even if you, like I said, are not doing like a real heavy duty costume, a little glitter goes a long way on Halloween. Always fun. And it's like that one time of year you can really wear liquid glitter eyeshadow and not feel weird about it, at least if you're my age. So let's say you do want to spread it a little. You can use your finger, you can use a Q-tip, you can use a brush. I'm just kind of spreading right at the very edge to give it a little diffused look. But the thing is, it dries so sheer and like comfortably. And it doesn't dry with a harsh edge unless you paint it that way specifically. Ooh, so fun. Okay, so I'm going to, I'm just going to clean there a little bit. Right there. Okay. So now just to demonstrate, I'm going to use the iridescent one a little bit. I'm just going to add a little bit of that right in the center, just to give it that little extra pop. So when you put it in the center, you kind of want to put it right over, like directly above where the pupil, not the pupil, yeah, the pupil of your eye is. And that kind of draws the light to bounce off your pupil, your eye, and it really accentuates the light in your eye. So again, I'm just kind of tapping it to blend those edges, but you can see if I look from one side to the other, it doesn't look, it looks soft and blended. It doesn't look like crazy at all. Yep. Just like that. So, okay. I'm going to knock the rest of the stuff out quickly. Now these, they also come in gold. You can also use them on, in fact, I did it recently, on like a lash brush comb and paint your eyelashes. And that looks especially cool in the gold. We have a gold one. So see, you can still see some of the gold on mine. So I just literally put it on there and like ran it through my lashes, and I have these gold sparkly lashes. You do that with any of these, and you can also use them as highlighters. So fun. If you want something a little more subtle, you can do it with the Dazzle stick from Girlactic. That I'm actually just going to use right in this inner corner. So this is like very, very sheer, and it has little bit of gold and iridescent silver kind of flecks in it. It's not going to be as bold as the other one. And this you can use right in this inner corner. You can blend it in. You can use this over the whole eye. But I do like this because it gives like a little gold, whereas this is very cool. This has like more silver. So again, I'm just doing it here. None of these are like have to. This is just basically a fun way to be able to use glitter without making a huge mess and having it fall all over your face as well. Because that's the most annoying mess to clean up. These, and I like that these are just like self-contained. I don't need a special gel to add to it. Okay. So there's that. I'm going to bang through the rest of it because the rest of it's pretty much stuff we already know. I'm just going to demonstrate it. So I'm going to do a little cleanup color correction under here. I'm actually using a lipstick. We do have a great Stila Color Correct palette. And that works for all different skin tones. It's got different colors on it. But I found a lipstick that is the exact right color for me. And it is actually the Julie Hewitt Blushington. It's called Be Lovely. And it's just the right color. And I love the consistency. And it's really easy to throw this in my bag. If you get like dark circles, they're usually see it's kind of like a purplish blue. I just literally just kind of like tap this just where I have a little bit of darkness. Do it on this side too. This is great for men also. I won't say who, but I have a man in my life that is in love with this for covering any like dark spots. We all do get those spots as we age. So that's on. I'm just going to take a little fluffy brush. I'm just going to blend it. Now, sometimes depending on like time of year, it will have a little bit of a pink look to it. It is a pink lipstick. The reason why I use that is because it counteracts the dark pigment, but this is how to completely cover it and have that perfect under eye. So I'm using, again, I'm going back to Herborian, my favorite Korean and French brand, and I'm using their BB crayon. So I'm just going to kind of, again, you don't need to ever do like that, like triangles or anything like that. Not if you want it to look natural. I'm literally just like tapping it a little bit. See, just right there. And then I'm just going to blend with a dry brush. Again, using very little pressure, a back and forth motion, and a little bit of circular. And just fill that in. Now I have a nice bright eye again. And it doesn't look like my makeup migrated all over my face. Okay. Same thing on that side. And just a little gentle buffing. Sometimes people aren't sure what kind of pressure to use. I always tell people, you want to use the kind of the pressure that you would use if you were shaving your legs. It's a glide. It's a glide across the skin. It's not a pressing, or you don't want to work from your elbow, see like that, or from your bicep. You want to work from your wrist and your fingers. That will ensure that your makeup always looks soft, evenly blended, and that you don't keep blending away your makeup and then having to go back and add more. Okay, so quick little lesson on contour. I'm using an eyeshadow palette. You don't want to use bronzer for your contour. Bronzer generally is a little bit too warm brown. When you're doing a contour, what you want for a contour is you want something that has a grayish undertone, because a contour is basically a shadow, right? It's like, oh, look, my cheekbones are so high here, and this part of my face is so thin it sinks in, that I have this shadow here, this line, right? Right here you can see there's that line. Shadow lines are gray. So you're not going to use a straight gray color, but you do want to use a brown, not too far from your skin tone. And you want to use something that is like a taupe or has that taupe-ish grayish brown look. Putty is another word for it. So I'm using the Rose Gold Matte and Shimmer eyeshadow palette. And this is a great eyeshadow palette. Oh, look, there's my room. There's my light. This is a great palette. There's a million things you can do with it, but the main thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use this lighter color here. Okay. It's called Hazelnut. Now, if you are, let's say, medium dark, you can use this. If you are on the darker end of the dark skin spectrum, you can use this for contour. And if you're really dark, you can absolutely use this. These are hazelnut, toffee, mahogany, and cedar. So again, we're creating a shadow. It's a line. Okay, just like this. See right there? That's a line. We're doing, of course, mine doesn't extend like some people's do, but this is how we're going to fake it. So I'm taking my Bdellium. This is the 783 brush. I'm using this because it's rounded, tapered. It's somewhere in between super wispy and dense. It's kind of like firm, but very easy to blend. You don't want something that's too dense or it's going to make a very heavy line. So I'm taking it in this color, tap off the excess. And now from right here, right where usually it's about where the top of your ear, you want to feel and find your cheekbone. So you're going to literally be drawing a line along the base of the cheekbone. That's all you're going to do. So starting at the hairline, I can feel my bone is right here. I'm going back and forth right on that line. See how subtle it is? Now you can build this up, but you don't want to really generally bring it in further than the outer part of your eye, or it can make you look like sunken in. Could also do that if you want. Some people do that. It's not particularly effective on my face, but so you always want to make sure you're up at the hairline. I don't know if this is translating enough on camera, but at the hairline, and always back and forth blending motions. So you see that? See how that's coming out? And it's just a shadow, right? It's just a line. So what you do to buff that is just keep going back and forth on the line. Don't spread it anywhere. So, and if you follow your own cheekbone, it'll look totally normal. Very important to bring that up into the hairline. Very important. Okay. Now, when it comes to this part, I don't want my face to look sagging. I want it to look kind of lifted. So I will take it, and instead of going this way, I just kind of give it a little bit of a lift. Little bit of a lift right there. And again, I'm not adding color. I'm just diffusing this pigment outward and making it so that, thanks, Jay-Z, making it so that it really does just look like a shadow. Okay. Now, in person, to me, it looks a little strong, but generally, if I'm going to a Halloween party or if I'm going to a nightclub or something like that, that's okay. Looking a little strong is fine. It's going to look great in pictures. It's not going to look crazy in person because it's going to be kind of a dark room. Adding a little bit more. You want to go now from where you started, straight down front of the ear. Very little, gentle, but that's creating that structure here. Now, from right under the jaw, here's the thing now. If you have the definition, see, I have that definition here. I've got that chin, right? Don't take it all the way under the chin. Take it from where you have your definition, but I like to start up here. So I'm starting, did that contour straight down. Now I'm going and I'm cutting it straight across And I'm stopping it there because I don't need this part to be darker and further emphasized. So when you see people that have a whole different color shade under here and then their face and they look like a lollipop, that's because they applied their contour incorrectly. So you really just want to create a line that's a shadow and then blend it. And by blending, you are blending directly on the line back and forth till the color softens. That's all that's necessary. So I'm not a nose contour person. If you are, that's fine. Part of why I don't contour my nose is because I feel like I have visible pores, and I've never been able to find something that's helpful with that. But if you do, you want to keep the darker color. Same exact thing. You're going to do the same thing. You may want to switch to a skinnier brush. Same exact thing though. You're creating a shadow, a line, right? And you want to keep the line in thinner than you think it needs to be. Trust me on that. I don't know the exact reason why, but it's definitely something that I've learned over the years. So see how the blending motion, it's always one continuous back and forth motion up into the hairline at the base of the cheekbone. Then once I get here, I do it a little flick of blending up to give myself that little lift. Take it from there and pull it straight down along the side of my face, right in front of the ear. And then right from there along the base of the jawline. See, I'm just creating that shadow. Back and forth to blend. I don't want to look like I have, a totally different color face. And I'm taking it again, I'm blending it right to that defined line there. Embrace the double chin if you have one. I'm doing it. Live your life. Better to embrace it than to paint yourself like with makeup and look crazy. Because you can. Listen, I don't judge, but it's never going to look natural if you try to darken under here. It just doesn't. So that's why I say don't keep going, because then you'll have this really dark spot here. It's really just about that blend. Now, also don't forget to take this line you made, pull it back behind the ear. Really important. Just following the jawline. Okay. Now, if you need your finger, you can just take your finger and soften anywhere you feel you need to. Okay. So how do you get your blush to last all night and not fade? Faces tend to eat blush. You put it on, you get somewhere, you glance in the mirror and you're like, whoa, why do I look so pale? Or you look so pale in your pictures. Here's the trick. I'm going to use a liquid lipstick as my lip color, my lip liner, and a blush. So this is Girlactic Lip Paint. This is my favorite color, Allure. But this comes in like a range of nudes to like a really intense, let's say, like seductive, divine. It has, these are different color names that they're more red, berry. It's pretty and it's comfortable. So it's going to look matte, but it doesn't feeling dry and make my lips feel dehydrated, which is important to me. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm not putting it directly on my face, okay? I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I like to use my middle finger. You can also use a brush. I'll do one side with finger, one side with brush. I just take a little bit of the color. A little goes a long way. Apple of the cheek is where you want your blush. So see how I just put that on? Now I'm going to put it on heavy, way heavier than I would ever wear it, right? And this is part of the trick. I know that maybe that doesn't look as crazy on camera as it looks to me. Maybe it does. Some people, again, it's like, there's no rules when it comes to makeup. You do what makes you feel beautiful, what makes you feel comfortable. Some people love blush, some people fear blush. And some people just want their blush to last through the night. So that's what I'm going to show you. Okay. So generally you want the concentration of the color to be on the apple of the cheek, but not so close into the nose that it looks like you just have a red face. So again, remember we talked about, and then all right, so you pat it there, but then I just kind of blend it up just to marry it into this skin. I want the concentration of the color though here. Okay. And of course I always take a little bit and just kind of pull it up. Now these also, if you're doing like some sort of elaborate, I just kind of like pull it across my eyeshadow or into the crease. Now, if you're doing like any kind of elaborate look, you can actually use this as eyeshadow and it really comes out very cool looking. So layers, right? Taking my BB crayon again, and I'm just putting some of this over it. So not a full layer, but I'm just patting this over. Again, I'm not trying to completely cover it, but what I'm doing is I'm basically creating a little insurance layer under like the makeup so that if I want it to last long, I'll put a little powder blush on top, but I still have that insurance layer of that color under the makeup. So when the powder blush kind of finds its way off my face somehow or another, or soaks into my skin, this will be underneath to pop up. Okay. Perfect. So I'm just going to finish off this part quickly. I'm taking my Kevyn Aucoin bronzer because I want bronzer. I'm going to use my slanted angle brush. And now the difference between contour and bronzer, contour goes at the base of the bone. Bronzer goes on the bone. So this is at the very bottom of the bone. This is going to go, this is going to go same location, same general location, but this is going on the bone along the actual wide part of the bone. I love this bronzer as well because we have several different shade ranges of it. I'm actually using Sunrise Light, but I could really switch to a deeper one as well. So see, I'm taking the bronzer from the hairline down and back up. And again, do I have to do this? No, but once I'm in a dark room, this is going to give that emphasis that I have, cheekbones. Thanks. I'm glad you like the look. And see, like, it's not so, this is not my everyday makeup, but it's not so over the top that like it doesn't work for even like a more casual kind of like Halloween cocktails with your girlfriends or with, neighbors, anything like that. So I always, depending on your face shape, that's a whole other class. Then you need to kind of figure out how you want to do bronzer. Either way, whether you're doing it wide or small. For me, I want it short. So I'm just taking the longer end here. And I'm just dusting this in right at the top of my hairline, just to give that consistency of color. But I'm not creating any width with it because I don't want to shorten or create the illusion of a shortened forehead. I was like, scalp? No. Okay, perfect. Now, another place I do bronze on everybody, this spot right here that's always shielded from your chin, that is always tends to be a little lighter because it doesn't get sun on it. So again, very, very gentle blending. Okay. Now, if you want to add more blush, you can. I'm going to add a little powder blush. This is like a super kind of how you would do a red carpet makeup to really make it last. So I'm using Becca, which you don't know, they're going out of business and everything is on sale on our site. Get it while you can because it's going. This is my favorite color. It's Snapdragon. It's like a warmish pink with some gold kind of flecks to it. So I'm taking a little bit. And again, right there. It's such a light, I'm doing such a light dusting. Okay. Now, again, if you're going to be in a dark room, if you're going to Vegas, something like that, check how your makeup looks in dark light. Like, do or put your makeup on in dark light. That's totally fine. You want to see what it's going to look like, when you're out. I was like a little at the tip of the nose. I do like to dust a little there again. Okay. And I can give myself another little setting spray. Only place you can go and press it all in. Main place I always press it in a final time is under the eyes. That keeps it from creasing. And that also keeps it from like settling into my lines and emphasizing them. Okay. And I'm barely touching it. See, I'm not like pressing it. I'm just kind of like patting those spots. Okay. Back to my lip paint. And this is it, guys. I know it took a little longer. There was a lot of explaining to do. But this, I'll show you. So now my lips are nice, moisturized, primed. And You can put this on as thick as you want, or I like to kind of put a little on and really spread it out like a stain. Ugh. Hold on. Dry lip. Thank you.
So to sort of kick off our Q&A, the first one that came in was your opinions on adding face powder before a cream application. So I'm assuming that this is for like a full face, sort of, where do you begin?
Okay, so that seems to be a thing that's like going, like a trend that's like going around town on Instagram and YouTube, where people are saying that you can get a really smooth foundation application if you go and put powder everywhere first. My feeling about it is I actually tried it. It wasn't successful for me. If you try it and it's successful for you, go for it. You can't always know what's going to work. Like there's no one size fits all. This works for everybody. So like I said, just try things out, see what you like. And, some people will say, no, there's a steadfast rule. You can't put cream or liquid over a powder. That's not necessarily true. Okay, so let's see. What does this one say? Pressing all the wrong buttons. Okay, so Daisy May, I'm glad you learned so much. Kimberly, okay, translucent powder on top. Do people do this, or am I living in the 90s? Okay, so I do recommend when you want a really long wear to do translucent powder. However, I'm going to show you how I do it. So by the way, you can also use the tip of this brush to line the lips and get that like perfect lip liner that perfectly matches your lipstick, and it's going to stay on. Whoa. See, my lip just like quivered. This also works really well if you like to overdraw your lips a little. Because you're literally, it's like a stain. And then I just add a little more of the lip moisturizer on top. I love how it looks, feels. So, translucent powder. One way that I always use translucent powder that I find is really helpful is masking under masks, all the places that the mask is going to hit. Now, a lot of us are going to events, and you may be going somewhere where you have to wear the mask through, let's say, like in the walk through one of my favorite restaurants. Yes, we go there all the time. You have to wear the mask as you walk through, and you can take it off when you get to your table. So how do you make sure your makeup doesn't get ruined when you have to wear the mask? Take a little translucent powder and dust it, I would say generously. Dust it where the mask is going to touch your face, which we all know is generally like right here and along there. By the time you take off the mask, if there's any like visible, just again, like very gently, see it. I'm using literally, I'm just gliding. Okay. Now, I'm using, this is the RMS. God, my light's bright. Sorry. This is the RMS Unpowder. And this is a great brand. It's all like coconut oil based. So I don't recommend it for anybody that has children with nut allergies, because I know you have to be really careful. But if there's no nut allergies in your household, this is an excellent organic brand. It's free from literally every toxin. And it performs well. So it comes with a little puff. You can use the puff if you want. But I'm going to actually use my like powder brush because I like to give it just a really soft dusting. So I'm just going to kind of tap some into the cover. Okay. Now with this powder, you must work it all the way into the brush until you literally cannot see it. So if you like swirl your brush, see how there's like, you can see there's like powder. If it comes out and there's white on it, don't use it because you're going to get a cow of white. So you want to really work it into the brush. See how you cannot see it? Now, if you're just setting your makeup so that it lasts through a party or whatever, just a very gentle press or light tap. If you are wearing a white costume, definitely add this. I have one client, she always wears a white collared shirt. I always put this all over. See, now you can do it where you get that white dusting. That's okay. No matter what your skin color is, you can use this as long as you really like blend it out. You don't want to use this though for like your color. It's not going to give you any color. It's just going to ensure that it like, cuts down shine and helps the makeup last. But Kim, you were actually correct in that powder is really the most traditional way to set makeup, and some really big time artists feel that it's the only effective way to really set makeup. I don't usually use powder because I feel like it can be aging, it can show off texture, but certainly with masks nowadays, and if I'm going somewhere where I really want it to last, I will add some powder. I generally don't powder under the eyes, but after powdering, anytime I powder, it's not necessary, but I will give myself a setting spray because I don't want the powder looking powdery on me. I want it to soak right into that skin. You can pat, you can go back with the beauty blender. The powder is going to do the job you want it to do without making your skin look like dull and dried down. Okay, let's see.
We got another question that was, what is your opinion on using eyeshadow for eyebrows? Since you used it for contour, do you also sometimes use it for your eyebrows?
Yes. Little secret in the beauty industry that I found out when I was studying makeup is that, but for the concept of cross-contaminating your products, in other words, like unless you are using things like you don't want to take this, let's say, put it on your lips and then use the same applicator to put it on your eyes, right? Because you could transmit illness and bacteria. However, there is no rule that says that this lip paint is not blush and eyeshadow. Generally, anything that is made to go on your face, that is like, there are certain exceptions with certain pigments, but they are always labeled that way. You'll see that sometimes. There you go. Oh, good, Michelle. I miss Michelle. Michelle used to come to every single class that I ever had. But yeah, so certain pigments, especially you'll see sometimes in Halloween makeup, cheaper Halloween makeup, it'll actually say like, do not use the blue, purple, this near, or like, don't use the red or the purple near your eyes. Don't use the blue or the green near your mouth. That's like generally not the case in regular user-friendly human use cosmetics.
In just 25 hours at the Blushington Academy, you'll be ready to increase your earning potential and become your own beauty boss. Blushington Academy is valuable to self-taught makeup artists and for those that went to school and graduated. Blushington is an incredible place to advance your career.
The Blushington Academy is giving you all the industry secrets, tips, tricks that they know, and they are giving that to you in that 25-hour course. That's priceless.
What surprised me as a new makeup artist was all of the work that went on behind the scenes. The skills I learned at Blushington Academy would have come in handy 10 years ago when I first started my career.
Along with the Blushing Academy, you get your own Blushington kit. The kit is curated by their artists, so you get this amazing kit that you are going to use on every single client. Realistically, what you pay for the course, you're getting in the kit.
When I first saw the kit, I was like, wow.
It's rare to find a makeup academy that provides such luxurious products.
So to turn up our look, let's grab our eyeshadow palettes and look at the color choices that we have. I love this palette. The colors are so vibrant and so beautiful.
You are so overwhelmed with where do I start? Where do I begin? How do I get my name out there? Blushington is behind you and they are going to help you do that. You are a featured certified artist on their website. So if you're in Kansas City, Missouri, people can book you, brides can book you. Having a huge company like Blushington behind you, that is something that when you go to another school, you don't get.
Having a shop-in-shop at Blushington is going to be such a game changer. I'm always recommending wonderful products to my clients, and it's going to be so nice to be able to help them purchase products that I stand behind, and it's going to be nice for me because I'll be able to make a little extra income.
You educate your clients, you use the products on them, and they have an option to buy directly from you, from Blushington, so that way that's commission in your pocket. Why did no one else think of this? It's amazing.
Loneliness of the career can really get to you because you're essentially an entrepreneur building a one-person business. But with Blushington, I could create community and rely on them for encouragement and for business matters. I honestly feel that this course is an amazing value.
You'll have a lifetime access to a new group of makeup artists, so you'll always have someone in your corner supporting you and there to answer any questions that you may come across in your career. There are so many things that we have to learn the hard way, especially as freelance artists. Blushington Academy takes away some of the pains of growing.
If you are just starting or if you've been doing it for years like I have, you can never stop learning. If you are getting ready to sign up for the Academy, just know it is just the beginning of your career.
So thanks again, guys. You're a wonderful audience. I appreciate you joining me for this. Okay.
Bye.